over as one of those top supports in the game.
Yeah.
And I think getting rid of that Nunu, it's because Nunu, as the support, would be one of those great first and second picks for the purple side. And that's maybe going to force Curse into a difficult decision, who they're going to ban out, who they're going to let M5 have.
Yeah, and Nunu is also a bit of a targeted ban straight towards Curse.NA because he is a support that they like to frequent often. And also he pairs up with just so many champs. It's ridiculous. But Katarina gonna be the last ban coming from Curse. We talked about it a little bit before. Just, you know what, let's not even risk it, but there's so many huge champs that are open right now.
Jace, Shen, Zilean, Sona, Ezreal. I don't think they're going to take either Jace or Shen. They might take Shen because of his global presence. Rengar's open, though. Okay, so I was kind of thinking they would leave open either Jace or Shen and just take who's remaining if they want to.
Yeah.
But they have a couple of options. They can run Rengar in the jungle. They could run Rengar top, but I think it's probably going to be a jungler. And we'll see. I mean, there's still a number of really strong champions. They have the Zilean open as well, so they can run that in the mid lane potentially.
And I remember we talked about this too, about the nerfs that came in for Rengar. And a lot of those nerfs were more centered in on top lane Rengar.
Yes.
They didn't really hurt his jungling too much. Granted, there's a little less damage here and there, a little bit more time on the cooldown for the ultimate, but a lot of that was really centered on him playing into top lane. They want him to be more of a jungler.
Yeah, no, those were more top lane nerfs. So, I mean, yes, he could probably still be in the top lane, but as a jungler, he's still brutal. His ultimate is insanely good. And Curse actually taking Diana. We saw yesterday the match that they just steamrolled alternate. They were running Diana and Lee Sin. A lot of it was the combo, but even so, Extinct was very aggressive in that mid lane. I'm curious who they're going to pair with him as a jungler, because they're going to want someone that has some sort of CC, and allows Extinct to be aggressive and pick up kills. And we'll see if they can be kind of aggressive there.
Yeah, it's not fully established though, like if Rengar is going top or jungle or not. So I think they're trying to be a little bit more reactionary until they know absolutely for sure. They may even save it for the last pick. You can just pick up the AD and support for their third and fourth. But Corki actually going to be possibly taken away from Curse.NA, and he's actually like their #1 pick as of late, and going to be paired up with the Janna down bot lane.
And I'm sure they'll probably be happy with the Ezreal as well, so they can take that Ezreal pick. I'm curious if Super A's would be playing the Lulu, or if maybe they would switch Diana into the jungle or something. But I'm assuming Diana is going to be in the mid lane, so they're just going to have to be concerned right now, because there's a high probability that M5 they can take that Zilean pick and then go with a really aggressive top. Though I guess the concern is, a lot of the times when Alex Ish is taking that Zilean, it's to combo well with Darien out of the top lane, and Darien can be extremely aggressive. He can go, Olaf or Jax or something extremely strong and powerful, one of the strong bruisers, and then have the backup from Zilean. And I'm curious how much they believe in Ghost.Pepper if he's going to be in that top lane to be able to fulfill that same role, or Blordy if they believe that he can fulfill that same role. But Ezreal and Lulu is definitely a really strong bot lane. We've seen it a lot in the past. It has that strong harass, but it also has decent pushing potential. And
with that pushing potential, we mention this like every time there's like a Yorick picked, or even on most times there's the Lulu. We always have to mention about the possibility of the lane swap, because it's been picking up, it's been catching on, and happening a little bit more frequent.
Yeah, no, that's there is the potential always for a lane swap with Lulu. She's one of those champions that you look for that swap with. And Jax is really vulnerable to that, and they are going to lock in. So this, I mean, it was kind of what we would think the standard M5 would play in this situation, would be that Zilean Jax. But Ghost.Pepper asking for the Jax guide right before the game from Anguish. Maybe Anguish, he logs onto the website for a second. He, messes around with the items. He messes around with the masteries or whatnot. But he should be okay. They're all top tier players, so I'm sure he'll be fine in that switch. But so that's going to be interesting. They have a very strong team right now. It's going to be tough for Curse to deal with. They need a little bit more damage, but we'll see who they go with their jungler. They really want an aggressive jungler that can lock down. Maybe they want to run a Shyvana. They could run a Shyvana.
Or, who's also open today? This lady.
She is open. I don't know if they're going to be just like throwing her in. I'd like it. I mean, trial by fire. Go ahead and pick Elise. The Malphite pick makes sense, though, because they wanted a jungler that has high CC. And having that initiation to follow up with Diana really works out well, because the Diana-Malphite combo is insane. It's, Diana can dive in onto like an AD carry or something and set them up for some quick kills.
And we've been seeing Malphite.
Triple knockups.
That is triple. And plus, you also got the you also got the taunt to come on in and join everybody else in the party. So that is quite a bit of CC. That is a very dangerous AOE team. Deceptively AOE team. Like you wouldn't expect a whole lot of like AOE coverage, AOE CC coming in, but it is there. It's quite plentiful. So we're gonna have Extinct here. He is dedicated in the mid on that Diana going up against the Zilean, and we've seen Alex Ditch play Zilean plenty of times before. Those bombs do hurt.
Yeah.
And Diana's going to have a little bit of a rough time to start because she is a melee range farmer. So she's going to be getting up close and personal. She's definitely going to be eating a few to the face.
Well, you're absolutely right. Diana does have kind of a difficult time against Zilean. Zilean has really strong harass, and then one of the nice things is Diana, you know exactly when you're about to die. It's not like it's a surprise or anything. So she's going to dive in. Zilean can ult and be safe there. But the concern is Diana has so much damage. She's going to be able to kill Zilean quickly, and then if the jungler's coming in as well, Malphite can get the follow-up off of the revive and pick up the kill there. So it is going to be a difficult lane for Diana because of the harass and difficult for her to farm. But the burst damage and having a strong jungler really is going to put a lot of pressure on Alex Ish. So we'll see what they can do out of that lane. The Zilean, Alex, it's one of his most played champions, and he definitely knows how to run any sort of lane.
Yeah.
But we'll kind of see what's going on there. And Blarney is playing the Jax? Yes, he is. So Gozu Pepper staying on support. He's running Janna. Nick walking by, giving us the Egyptian dance. But we'll see, what they can do. It is going to be interesting. I think that one of the benefits of Malphite as opposed to like Lee Sin or Maokai, having both of those champions being banned out, is Malphite's not going to be able to take advantage of any ganks until level 6. And we saw yesterday against Alternate, they were actually pressuring that lane as early as like level 3. Diana would just flash in, get the pullback for Lee Sin to pick up the kills. So Zilean should be safe early on. And actually, Zilean, he's kind of weak the first 3 levels until he needs to get a couple of levels. Yeah. But that's not going to be an issue against Diana. So Diana doesn't have the capacity to take advantage of that.
Well, what will happen with Zilean, though, is that he is a very big mana hog.
Oh, yeah.
So and those bombs, like even like level 1 are like, what, like 100 mana a piece?
Yeah, they're pretty expensive. And then when you're using the time reset on his W, the rewind, that's going to add up as well. So, Zilean, he really needs to be able to control those blue buffs, and it's a lot of that's going to come down from jungle pressure. And if Curse decides to do a lane swap, maybe that top lane pressure, it can actually help them take that blue. So that's one of the benefits of that lane swap, is that you can control the blue a little bit easier from the purple side to the blue side. So I don't know. We'll see. That might actually add into it. Shen, he is a decent champion in that 1v2, and Corki and Janna, they're a strong lane, but they don't really have enough damage to bully around Shen. So, if they do decide to go with that swap, Angus should be safe in that bot lane.
When Janna's a very defensive kind of type support. I mean, she has the shield, she's got the ultimate, she's got a lot of CC innately on her, but she can be aggressive. I'm not saying Janna can't be aggressive.
Yep.
But there are other champs out there with different kits, champs like Lulu, which are a little bit better suited for more aggressive play.
Well, and that's what we saw when Lulu was first released, is that Lulu, she was kind of picked a lot of times as a counter pick to Janna. Yeah. And that was even before Janna was nerfed. And it was just that Lulu won those exchange battles a little bit more. She was able to harass a little bit more effectively than Janna was. And so you saw a lot of that lane matchup. So that actually might be, a situation where Curse is just happy with leaving their lanes there. Yeah. We talked about how they could do a lane swap. I wouldn't be surprised to see, and actually the more I'm thinking about it, I would kind of expect them to just hold their common lanes, because Shen does very well against Jax early on. Shen can get an early advantage, particularly since it's a sub. They can, see if they can bully around that lane. So Shen has a favorable matchup there early on, and then Ezreal and Lulu has a favorable matchup. In the bot lane, but we have seen Ezreal has been nerfed. Yes, so the W, that Essence Flux, it is significantly weaker. We've seen players start to switch into the Mystic Shot, leveling that first. And really, when Ezreal first came into big play, when people started playing him a lot, it was because they started transitioning into that Essence Flux, and they started using that for lane harass. So we'll see how that loss of lane harass affects them. I think it's made up for by the fact that they have Lulu to kind of strengthen that harass, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so there's supporting that kind of style of play. He was a great laner, and also, of course, Pulsefire Ezreal. I think that was also an equally as big catalyst as to why a lot of people started picking him up lately too. It's just like, hey man, we got this awesome skin, got to use it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was the, you know, you could look back, and it's the reason they kind of decided to take a look back at him again. I think he was already seeing play, but I mean, it's quite possible that people were like, they had just kind of forgotten about him for a little bit, and then were like, oh wow, you know, he is actually pretty good. But we'll see. Rengar, you know, one of the funny things with Rengar is they nerfed his item, but I don't see the nerf to his item really affecting him that much. I mean, it means people aren't going to buy it. Like, I don't know why I would buy the item now if they nerfed it so significantly. So I think that it's going to be something, you know, where that's not really going to impact them at all. And maybe they just kind of want to play around with the item some. They want to just, you know, toy around with it some. They don't want people buying it now, so they just nerfed it hard, and then they'll rebuff it later. But we'll see what's going to happen. Both teams have okay level 1. I mean, they don't have like anything game breaking, but I think that Curse, with the poke they have with Diana and Ezreal, could actually win that level 1 exchange. So M5 might want to play kind of carefully here. Corki's really strong level 1. Jax can be very strong level 1, but you know, they don't have. I think that Curse is potentially a little bit stronger, and there's that clairvoyance. So we'd seen Janna and Ghost Pepper starting to use that clairvoyance. They do get a spot off, but now it is down for a pretty long time since it was nerfed.
It's about it was like 45-second cooldown before. Now it's like a full minute. But you do still have the mastery actually sticks around for a little while longer, and you do have that kind of trade-off. But we haven't seen a whole lot of CV, like, you know, really since that nerf. But what we have started to see, like, we've seen a lot of different variety actually in the summoners on the support and AD down bot lane. And something we've seen a lot of recently is actually support going ignite and AD going heal.
Yeah, it's a really aggressive lane setup. It's also safe if you know that you can get out of there. Lulu's going to be in a kind of a dangerous spot. You know, if Rengar comes in, Lulu doesn't have the best escapes. So a lot of times also with Lulu, you don't get your W early, and that's kind of one of those difficult decisions you have to make on Lulu is how early do you pick up your W ability? Because you want your Q maxed for harass, and it's just your strongest ability. A lot of times you want to get the shield as well to be a little bit stronger. Blarney coming in, wanting to seal the race, that's kind of a common thing a lot of times from top laners we're seeing, but they're all there to zone him off, so he's not going to be able to do that. He's just keeping an eye on him, though, as Curse is moving in, gets some harass onto Genja. He's actually going to be kind of low coming into this lane, and they don't pick up those mini golems, so a nice early advantage for Curse.
Genja just taking a whole bunch of shots for free. Photon and Super Rays are actually relatively healthy going down into the bot lane, whereas you look at Genja, he would drop down to about half health. He's already drinking those potions. The Janus shields are just trying to keep up. He's already burned 2. He hasn't even farted his first minion, and he's already down 2 potions. That is huge, absolutely huge for a start.
And one of the nice things with Lulu versus the Janna is that Janna, you lose the AD shield when it, you lose the AD when the shield goes down. And Lulu has enough burst damage to take it down fairly quickly. So that's going to be a nice benefit for them. I am interested though in Maluno's starting path, because he started off with the red, and a lot of times when you start the red, you want to get off early aggressive ganks. Otherwise, you're just wasting that buff. But I'm kind of curious if instead of looking for early ganks as Malphite, it was more of a defensive measure, because Diamond Prox a lot of times looks to invade that red early on, and with Alex. And so if they were kind of like, all right, let's just get it out of the way, they're not going to invade our blue side, it's less likely. So get the red, let me control my jungle, and just get off to a good start. And
what this allows Mono to do, to actually start pressuring
So he is going for an early gank.
He is going for an early gank, level 2 here, down onto Alex, getting a little bit harassed. He got the ground slam too, but that is forcing out the flash from the mid player at N5. That is a flash down for Alex, that she's going to have 1 less escape for future ganks, future attempts. But you do have Rengar, and they were right. Diamond Prox, there he is, right there, homing around the red. But you saw Malunu there in mid. He saw you had the red buff already. He's like, well, okay.
And he saw him walk towards bot, so it would be a long way around to get back to that Wraith.
Yeah, and so he realizes, I may not be able to steal your red, you already have it, but I can take your Wraiths, and I can get in good position to try and make an attempt up on the top lane. We'll see where he goes there. Malunu, though, finishing up his double buff. And you actually see Rengar, actually, he's already got the race. Now he's just getting greedy. Now he's just going for the small golems.
He knows he has the time. He knows Malphite, because they hadn't really seen him yet, that he started off for the blue. So really nice awareness there from him. He's going to be able to take a nice advantage. And in the mid lane, you see Alex H, he's actually been able to keep his health or his mana pretty high while constantly wearing down Extinct. And Extinct, he's out of health pots. So this is where Alex H is going to start taking advantages in that lane, and he doesn't want to allow Extinct an opportunity to recall. As because the longer he can keep Extinct in that lane, the more vulnerable he's going to be.
And you also noticed that back in Champ Select too, we were actually going through, and there was quite a few mana regen runes up on Alex Itch. CV actually going down onto the red. They just want to make some vision there. See if they can't spot out the Malphite, and they do not actually see him.
Yep, but Diamond Prox, he's setting up in that mid lane. They haven't seen Malphite for a while. They know he has his double buff by now. They figure that he might be going for some sort of opportunity. He has a level advantage over him, but Alex Each, you see he's shying away from that top lane because that's kind of the common ganking route.
And yeah, Maluno's been hanging around here for quite some time. The entire while as Diamond Prox is actually just going back, making quick checks on certain lanes, and then returning to farming. So yeah, there's that level advantage. And
we saw yesterday that Curse with Extinct, they went for the flash pullback on Diana at level 4. Extinct would flash in to try and pick up that kill. Diamond Prox walking around, he's going to catch out Maluno here, so he's not going to be able to steal anything. Going to get some quick damage and back off. Extinct is low, so he's not going to be able to help. And that's the benefit of having a strong mid laner, is you can be this aggressive and not have to worry about counter pressure. But I think that when Maluno was sitting there, they were maybe looking for that gank, and now Diamond Prox setting up in the top lane. He might be going in behind Shen. Jax is still full health, so he might be able to pick this up.
Anguish is pushing a little bit too far ahead, and he doesn't have ward coverage in River, and there is the CV going down just to make sure he can get some vision on him in the brush so he can still jump on him. Leap for leap. There is the stun, going to keep him behind, but he will actually get to tower and will be safe. Plenty of harass coming on in from the Rengar, but no summoner spells were actually blown there. But there's one who's going to be meeting Diamond Prox there in the bush. Jax is a little bit too far away. He's actually back at his own tower. We may actually see the flash taunt or something else of the light coming from Anguish, but no, they're more than happy just to scare off the Rengar. Bomb
he's going to get the kill.
Onto Extinct. The shield, will it be enough? No. First blood in the mid. Tick-tock, you are gone. Alex Itch with the first kill of the game.
Yeah, we talked about it. I mean, Zilean is going to win that lane without the jungle pressure. Diana works really well with the jungler, but without that jungle pressure, Zilean just has too much harass, and then also the revive is going to protect Zilean against that Diana. So Alex Each already taking advantage of that, and I think a lot of the pressure that Diamond Prox is able to put on, it forces Maluno maybe away from that mid lane. And like we said, Malphite's an aggressive jungler, but once he hits 6. Before that, he's not able to put on quite enough pressure. So they're not able to pick up the kills. And Diamond Prox, even if, with top lane, for example, even though they don't get a kill, even though he doesn't force away a summoner or something like that, it gives Jax a free ride, basically. I mean, he's able to farm. He's 7 CS ahead of Shen, which, it's not a significant advantage, but he's not down at least. And Shen would normally have an advantage in that lane. Yeah,
and it's also a little bit affected that now Jax has been given the time to hit 6. Is when his damage output really starts to ramp up, when he gets the extra proc on his auto attacks.
Yeah, and that's why you see the Doran's shield and also the Ninja Tabby on Shen. And that's actually going to allow him to continue to win that lane, because the Doran's is going to lock down a lot of that Jax damage, and then he still has that constant harass. Extinct, I'm not sure. I think he's if he's going to try and use the blind spot to maybe get in on Alex, but
there the Q.
I guess just kind of watching to see. While he could, he knew he wasn't going to have to sit mid to just farm. He wanted to keep an eye to see if Rengar was coming up mid on him, I think.
Yeah, and you see the damage difference between the two. For Q between our two AP mids, and Alex clearly has the damage advantage so far. So if Extinct wants to go in, if he wants to make that engage, he needs to make sure that he can actually get a kill, because otherwise he's just going to be losing the damage battle slowly. And there's the first bomb going down. Extinct trying to out-damage Alex. There's still plenty of time, though, and another bomb going on down. Extinct wants it, but this does force out the ult and backs off accordingly. But
he's close to going down, though. Alex is going to hit his cooldowns in a second. If he speed boosts himself up to catch up to Extinct, he could maybe force him out of this lane. But I think now Extinct has him in that zone where if he dives in again, he could maybe pick up a kill.
And there's about a little bit more, like 2.5 minutes until that ult actually comes back up for Alex Itch. So there's a small window there where he can continue being aggressive, possibly kill some time for Maluno to hit 6.
Oh, Rengar's coming mid, though, and he is level 6. He could get this kill onto Diana potentially, but Diana backs off, is going to look for Maluno to pass over that blue, and that'll help him some in the mid lane. And in particular, how much experience does Maluno have, actually?
He's about halfway to 6.
Yeah, so once he hits that 6 mark, that's definitely going to be key for him.
But we saw a little bit earlier, though, he did seem a little bit lost. It's like, I'm waiting here in the mid. not quite sure what I'm doing. I'd like to farm, I'd like to do something. So it's farm time. Diamondprox is already 6, so there's still yet another small window where Rengar can actually get the jump onto mid, try and get some aggression down Diana with Zilean. As you see right now, he's actually being passed. Well, was he Witting ring? Oh, okay, the time bomb. I forget he has those things. Diana coming on in once again, getting the CC down. The Ignite is in, actually taking a quick turret shot, but the bomb is going to be more than enough, and he stood too close to that minion. They both went off at the same.
Yeah, and it's funny, the minion bomb actually wouldn't have gone off if he had been able to get away from it. He might have been okay, but the bomb on his head actually killed the minion bomb and forced that to explode. So, yeah, that's actually that must not be true. Was it his bomb or not? Regardless, he picked up the kill. So you know, that's a nice exchange.
The bombs are level 5, so those bombs are doing 365. So actually, yeah, the one bomb didn't matter if it was from him or from the minion. It would have been enough to kill him either way. Yeah. I'm not saying the second bomb helped, but if he was a little bit higher, it would have. But unfortunately, he wasn't.
Extinct trying to be aggressive. And that's going to be tough. I mean, the harass from Alex Ishin, that he can trade very effectively in that mid lane. He already has a nice little farm advantage. Rengar coming up top, though, he's keeping an eye on Maluno. They did see him in that ward, so he can counter this out.
And the worst part too about that last exchange is that they both had both blue buffs just evaporate into the ether. CV going up top lane, just make sure you get vision in the bush, but Shen looking for the taunt, not going to be getting it. You got the leap strike from Jax down onto Shen, wants a little bit more damage, forcing the flash on out. Going to be hiding underneath the tower, but the fight is still going on. Maluno is hungry, he wants a little bit more. Leap strike, going to bring him down to below half, and there will be no kill here top lane just yet.
Yeah, but I think Shen, he ulted on Diana because Diana was diving Alex H. So he ulted on Diana in the middle of the fight. That reduced some of his damage in the top fight, but it actually just barely saved Extinct's life. He was almost going to go down, and he almost picked up a kill against Alex H. So still wanting to pressure him, he forced out another revive mid. So it's actually a decent exchange for them, but we'll see if they can take advantage of that. I mean, it was a nice play by Diamondprox being able to keep an eye on Maluno and counter out his aggression.
That's rather difficult too, is like to actually keep an eye on the rest of the map while you're preoccupied with a team fight. It's great awareness, fantastic awareness, and great coordination coming out in Tier June from Curse. Lance gonna keep Ghosted Pepper a little bit annoyed, but that Tri-Brush is now warded by Curse. So right now, Curse can push up a little bit further down here in the bot lane, try and get some rest down to Genja, force him back to the tower. But also look at the gold too. Like this is a very close game so far. I mean, we're hitting on the 12th minute, and we've seen a lot of attempts. You saw those ganks up there top. You saw a lot of exchanges going down into mid. You got that you got the double knockout, and I was expecting to see actually a little bit more aggression from both of these teams.
Yeah, no, it's. I think both teams are comfortable with sitting back a little bit. Diana in particular needs some time to ramp up, so it's going to start. I don't know, to increase now. Like, I think they need to play kind of passively through the early levels and just farm up for a little bit. Bot lane in particular has kind of turned into a farm lane, and both Corki and Ezreal are doing very well in that lane, so it's not that big of an issue. But Extinct not even getting damage on that dive in, so that's a win for Alex Each to be able to get that exchange.
Already down 2/3 health just on that one attempt. Maluno's here though. Malphite ult coming back up in 3, 2, 1, but he sees Diamondprox right behind him. He's like, do I still really want to make this gank? He's right there. Photon throwing down the ultimate, looking to get some damage out to the way, forcing Genja to actually Valkyrie on out, but they catch Diamondprox trying to steal those wraiths. Pull back
I think F5's going to win
there's
this.
The ultimate going to keep him stealthed, and there is the bomb. One more leap. Diamondprox looking for that damage, but there's Maluno with the ultimate backwards. He wants to kill. He wants that Oracle's gone.
Revive
but
on
there
Rengar.
There's the revive. Rengar is going to be coming on back. Maluno very smartly flashes back on over the wall, but there's the bomb. Alex will actually get that kill, but he knows he's going to die anyway. He might as well try and get some damage. Anguish with the taunt back over the wall. M5 still in pursuit. He still wants it. He still got his Oracles too, but he won't be able to get it, but that's still a fantastic exchange. 2 kills for free for M5 in enemy jungle.
And those are the kind of fights that you see M5 always thrives in, and they try and force out. Diamondprox having the Oracles, it allows them to force those fights in the jungle. That's the benefit of Zilean. Zilean, he has great harass. He doesn't have the highest burst damage, but they have strong bruisers that can still win fights, and then having the revive allowed them to win that exchange. So really aggressive play, and that's going to give them a nice gold lane. This is where Curse needs to be careful, because those are the kind of leads that M5 likes to snowball games off of. They like to have those aggressive early fights in the jungle, you know, they're kind of longer exchanges and then kind of roll from there.
And not only did that, actually, hold on, you got a little bit of damage here from Genja. One wayward missile, Photon actually getting very low. Not only did that revive turn that last fight, revive also prevented the loss of an Oracles, which at this stage in the game is so vital to keep once you have purchased. I don't believe there's yet to be an Oracles on any member of Curse.
Nope, there has not been.
So that vision advantage is going to continue to be huge for M5, especially if they're going to be looking to engage in drag fights in enemy territory like that again.
I mean, considering how strong Rengar's ganks are, to not have any sort of knowledge of where he's coming from can make things kind of difficult. HUK Photon, he's going to use his ultimate to be able to clear out the bot. He is falling a little bit behind Corki because of that last exchange, and it seems that, you know, Genja's getting a little bit more confident in that lane. It's interesting. That's kind of a matchup that you, in the past, would have expected Ezreal to have a little bit of an advantage in. But, you know, maybe it's partially because Ezreal can't auto-attack harass as effectively without the Essence Flux. Might be throwing him behind a little bit.
Yeah, but you also have the shields. Actually, let's take a look at Lulu real quick on the skill purchases. Because, yeah, as Lulu, you're going to be maxing out the Glitter Lance first. You're not going to have as much of a shield protection. Janna, on the other hand, you know, primarily as a support, you want to max out that shield first. Then you have a good Janna, you're going to be keeping your AD carry safe nearly 24/7. Gosu now, 2 Oracles at M5. We got one roaming one and one sticking around in the bot lane now. They got to be really confident to pick up a second one.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, that's very unusual. You usually don't see people making that much of a gold investment. It looks like Curse is actually going for a lane swap while the dragon's up, and that's not usually something you do either. So it basically is going to give M5 a free dragon. Diamond Proc's actually coming mid. He pops his ultimate. He's going to be able to engage on Extinct, and Zilean, the ultimate's up to revive himself if he needs to, but the bombs, Shen trying to ult onto Extinct. There's the taunt back. Shen's going to get in range, but the Zilean revive's going to hit, and actually they canceled out the Shen ultimate bottom. So Janna, Gosu Pepper, saving the day, was able to cancel it out, and now they can try and chase him down and pick up a kill.
I think the ultimate was actually just cleared away by a simple tornado.
Yes.
And the fact that you can have that, I think Anguish may have just like forgotten real quick. It's like, oh yeah, you're Janna, you have that. I forgot that cancels it, because a lot of CC, nearly any hard CC will actually knock Shen out of the casting time for it, but with all the time cleared.
At the same time, he might have just been using it for the shield. I mean, he knew he needed to give some help for Extinct, even if he couldn't get that taunt off.
Yeah, the taunt would have helped immensely, though.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that would have been a dead Alex for sure, at the very least.
But we see they are pushing the top. Top does go down, so that's going to help Curse a little bit. They will snowball off that. Diamond Proc's chasing down Super Ace there, even though his team's not around. So, you know, kind of a little bit surprising there.
Anguish.
Everyone give a round of applause for Anguish. Yeah, thank you. We'll see what Curse can do to try and get back in this game. It is a 3K gold advantage for M5 right now, and I don't know, at Curse, it seems like they're a little bit more open to roaming. I think that could actually help them out a lot against Diamond Procs, particularly if they can catch them out of position. Like, that's what they want to do, is catch M5 out of position when they're going for these aggressive jungle invades. Yeah,
the roaming right now is great. The timing on it, not so great. I mean, they did give up a dragon, but hopefully they'll be able to grab a few kills to make up for it, at the very least some objectives. They did get the top tier 1. So it's going to be equalizing the gold that the dragon would normally give. But we'll see where that goes from there. And Diamond Procs, Rengar still has that Oracles. And it's a Shen on his own here to defend the buy. Actually, you got Ezreal, Photon coming back on down. So I think they're reconsidering their thoughts on the lane swap and now coming back on down.
Well, they got the top turret, so that was a mission accomplished. They don't need to continue the lane swap.
Yeah, so they can actually come back on down. But you do have Jax actually left to his own devices here.
Yeah.
So Borney, if he so desires, like, there's plenty of time. They had vision on Shen earlier. He could actually push down that tower right now if he really wanted to, but Extinct gonna be caught out here by the Rengar. Actually uses the empowered E to keep him stunned just for a little while longer. Actually dives on in to Gosu Pepper to try and clear the gap, but no, Alex with a very well-placed bomb will be able to get the kill there. Diamond Procs hopping into the bush, get the leap down onto Super Ace for a little bit more damage. He has no choice but to use the wild growth on himself just to get back to safety. Borney will actually be there in top lane, grabbing that turret, but you have a 4-man push down here in bottom, still looking to continue.
And M5's basically, they're always in the right place at the right time, and that's Just a lot of it's because of the map control. It's because of the clairvoyance as well.
That's CV.
And I think maybe is a little underrated. Like maybe we'll see, you know, some of this M5 play bring back CV into play, because I mean right now Curse, every time they try and do something, M5 is there to counter them out, and they're always a step ahead of Curse. And Curse is just not, you know, found that right rhythm. So we'll see where they can go. And Jax is, you know, farming particularly well as well. But Alex Ish, 6-1 right now.
Yeah.
He's insanely strong, and those bombs are going to absolutely destroy Curse in team fights.
426 magic damage at this point, and those are only going to get stronger. He's got the Rod of Ages. He's got a needlessly large rod. That's pretty much it. You know, like once you finish that death cap, I mean, he's technically done. It's just more hurt from that point, and you're forcing Curse to start building in the magic resist, and things are just going to get uglier from there. He may even ended up building into a little bit of CDR. Actually, he's almost level 16. He almost has level 3 in the ult already, and it's already it's only that ult is only going to become stronger and stronger, especially if someone like Rengar in the Middle East fights. He's going to be coming back more healthy. It's just not good. It's just not good for Curse right now.
Yeah, and Diamond Prox clearing his red. They do allow Extinct to get his own blue, but he's coming down to the bot lane. They do spot him out, but the Oracles is just shutting it down. Did they not see him? He's coming in. He must have popped his ult to get past the ward, and he gets in on the Super Ace, the double leap. He will be able to get that slow with the red buff. Photon really low as well, gets out the Arcane Shift, so just barely not dying. But actually, Alex H, he's coming around the backside. He's going to clear it up. The flash, one bomb. The Shen ultimate, another bomb. The second bomb, can he kill Super Ace? They have to back off.
They recognize, like, I've got a bomb on me. Get away from me. But Alex is actually going to be a little bit caught Extinct there with the CC to bring him on back, but he has no choice. He has to use a revive on himself, so Diamond Prox needs to stick around for a little while longer just to make sure that he can secure his escape. He has no flash. He has no ignite. Alex may actually be caught out. There is the Ezreal ult. Is still ignited. Will Alex go down? Yes, there's the shutdown. Now finally, Extinct getting that kill he's so wanted since that earlier double KO.
That was rough, though. I mean, that was really, you know, difficult for them to, you know, put so much pressure in. Also, it leaves Jax alone top, and that was all for one kill. Yeah. So you saw how much of an effort it was on Curse's side to pick that up. But we'll see, you know, if they can start to turn it around. You know, this is the point in the game where Curse, even though they're behind, this is where they want to start making plays happen. Diana in particular is pretty strong. She just finished her Unholy Grail, so that's she's going to have decent damage. She has, you know, decent spam ability. Yeah. But it's going to be tough because Jax is going to start entering the fray, and he just finished his Trinity Force, and he's just really going to be a monster, even though he hasn't been in any fights so far.
I just realized too that we actually still got some of these guys actually buying the harrowing ward skins coming on in. Cool. I didn't realize it. There's a little statue that actually just, like, it doesn't disappear, it crumbles. As it expires.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's kind of neat. Kind of like it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I hope they keep those in the game. They were saying that it's kind of like a test right now to see, you know, how many, if it's worthwhile, if people want them in the game. And then if it is, then, you know, they can make them permanent in the future.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. It makes things a little bit interesting. You know, it's like, hey, little green ward, I do like you, but that's it. No crumble animate. See, there you go. Look at, dude.
Well, the nice thing about the wards is that when your team's yelling at you that you're not warding, you can be like, no, check it out. These are all my wards because I marked them.
They are mine. Labeled Janna. And look at this. Crumble. It's awesome.
Yeah, but Maluno getting that Oracle's a little bit behind Rengar, and he's actually had a lot of pressure. Anguish missing the taunt. Alex Ich is able to get out of there, and Blarney's come down. They can turn this around as the fight's actually going down by the river as well. They're trying to pick this up. Blarney chasing them down. Diamond Prox in a really dangerous spot, but in the meantime, they can't quite get the chase onto Extinct that they like, and they might actually transition over to Maluno.
Maluno does take out the ward over by the tri-ramp area and knows that the rest of the team, they're not too far behind. They were all just recently in mid, but Genji, though, going to get the jump down onto Super Ace, throws in the Glitter Lance, will not be hitting backwards. But this does leave open a dragon opportunity for M5. They've managed to push everyone from Curse away out of the river. They do have to try and come back and reconverge. But Luna, though, does not have a care in the world, goes in for the ultimate, but cannot get the steal, and he's going to be regretting that decision. There's the Ezreal ult coming on in for a little bit more blanket damage, but Extinct getting hugely chunked out. There's a Shadow. Will be enough to save him? No. Anguish, can he control the rest of this fight for the rest of the team? No, they've all decided to retreat. Photon got slowed, and Bomb Super Ace is out of mana. Quick. 3 kills plus Dragon for M5 for free.
they don't have enough damage right now to beat M5. M5 has, you know, really strong late game carries. They have strong damage. I think that might be a surrender. There is the surrender, and I think they realized that it was over because that last fight, it was a decent fight, you know, for Curse, but they were just too far behind, and they were like, okay, we don't have enough damage. Extinct on Diana. That's one of the nice things with Diana is she has really strong single target damage. She can assassinate well. You know, she can set up those fights well. But Shen, he's a low damage, you know, champion. He's just kind of, you know, that bruiser that can, yes, he can disrupt the AD carry, but as far as, you know, overall like AoE damage or anything to deal with people like Jax, you know, he doesn't have enough damage in team fights. Malphite as well. He has strong burst. You know, he has the attack speed slows, but he doesn't have a lot of damage. And so they realized they couldn't take down the members. You saw that fight, HUK Photon, he was actually just sitting freely attacking Corki the entire fight.
And nothing.
Genja was sitting in the back line, and Ezreal was just like a little gnatfly, you know, just wisping by his ear. And I think that's what did it for them. They were like,